All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here to do our review of Those Who Wish Me Dead. It's the 2021 action thriller starring Angelina Jolie. So it goes something like this.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
You've heard of this. You've seen this, right? You know what that is.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
Is this not why you are here?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Knock that shit off.
A teenage murder witness finds himself pursued by twin assassins in the Montana wilderness with a survival expert tasked with protecting him and a forest fire threatening to consume them all. This was released simultaneously on HBO Max and in theaters. I did not look up how much it made in the theaters. I think nothing made beyond $2 million in the theaters this week, but I'll check that out in a minute. So I'm going to start with Keith. I'm going to give you the first voice on this movie. What did you think of Those Who Wish Me Dead?
I was very I thought it was going to be cornier. I'll start with this. I start with this. I thought it was going to be cornier, so maybe this is why the movie was more entertaining to me. But like, it started out solid. And like it pretty much kept it up. And the storyline, like immediately jumped into overdrive, but it was a storyline that you could kind of like see coming a little bit. But that's perfectly fine. Like, it was definitely very much a trope, but
Yeah.
But I like the elements of it that were the different actors and this different piece of storyline. I thought it was quite foul how that little kid, I know it's a fictional character, but like the trauma that little kid will have to be in therapy for the rest of his life.
Can we say that kid was really good, by the way?
He was really good.
Yeah.
The actor's name is
good acting.
Finn Little.
Finn Little was killing it. Like everything he did. Like when okay, spoilers, everybody. We're gonna do spoilers.
Obviously,
we're gonna suggest
I'm still gonna watch it, but go ahead.
We're suggesting everybody goes watch it. It's a good movie. That's our quick non-spoiler review. The spoiler review is Finn Little watched his father get shot in the head and sat there, and that acting kid, like I felt him like holding on for dear life
and trying not to scream, like
right?
Like he did a great job of projecting.
We don't know if that actor was in anything else before this movie or no.
Yeah, he's been in some other things, but I'd never heard of him before this.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. Another thing this movie did really well was there's a trope in action movies and in all movies where you get an actor to play a certain type of character. And once you see that actor, you have an expectation for the character, right? So when I saw John Bernthal show up as
my guy, my gym partner,
the sheriff, and he's got a pregnant wife, and he's the good guy, ex-boyfriend to Angelina Jolie. I was like, oh, well, there's our hero character, right? And they twisted that on you like that. Like I was like, okay, he's gonna do that. No, he's not gonna do that. Oh no, he's not gonna do that. They never have him take over the way I would have expected him.
Right. You figured he was gonna save the day. And
they didn't let him
work out. No, it didn't work out that way.
It did not work out very well.
Can I say though?
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, when it comes to the acting in this movie, it wasn't Angelina Jolie that did this for me. The kid, John Bernthal, and the woman who played his wife. I'm sorry, I don't know her name, but the three of them were fantastic in this movie. And just the way the characters were written out. Like I didn't even care too much for Angelina's character and her history of whatever trauma happened to her.
She was the lead. I know. right?
The trauma wasn't that interesting, but her character was fine. I really liked her.
It was
kind of
fine, but yeah, nothing
Angelina is a
spectacular.
solid actress, and she played
Mhm.
all of the parts well.
Yeah,
But her character got the shit beat out of her, and she did an awesome job in that part of her character.
I mean, it was almost to the level of unbelievable, though. Like Angelina Jolie must weigh 110 pounds.
I know, and then she's a
Like,
fire jumper.
yo, like this, like she was getting socked. Like, like,
Yeah,
nah, like,
Yeah,
nah.
she.
But I
like-
think though, like she played a tough chick though. I definitely did not have any problems with. But you were right, Mike. Like she's not like. And she didn't like her character didn't draw me into her so much. Like,
yeah.
I think part of that is the story didn't like it wanted to tell you this kind of little backstory of her being why she's afraid of the fire, but it didn't feel like that really affected too much of the story. I know it was supposed to, and you're supposed to feel the fear at times, but it didn't feel like it really affected too much of it. She did everything she had to, no matter what her past was.
I think it was supposed to actually paint the picture of her having like a bit of like now like a savior complex, like, or like the building of a like I'm gonna never let that happen again. Like kind of like if I'm gonna seize the moment, I'm not gonna let I'm not gonna let my own personal fear. Like it just to me painted all of that behind the picture without having to build that into her character.
Right. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of time spent where the characters didn't do something they needed to do. Like there wasn't a lot of the no, I can't help you because I'm not worthy because I screwed up. There was none of that out of the characters. The characters all stepped up the moment anything happened. And I kind of liked that. I mean,
there was some action.
Normally, if you want to take time.
So I have one issue with this.
Well, I just
Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just
gonna say that it just felt like normally in a movie you'll have that the refusal to call to action where you take the 5 minutes and the character runs off, but then they come back, and they never had that here.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are hitting me with character traits and acting. What about the cinematography and the actual action sequences? Because the trailer just doesn't give me any of that character plot. It just gives me, the action sequences, the forest fires. That's what I see in the trailer.
We should probably mention the two antagonists played by.
So it's Nicholas Hoult and Aiden. Is that Aiden Gillen? Is the other guy?
Yeah. So Nicholas is Beast in the new X-Men. In the
I
Days of Future Past, and he was in Warm Bodies as a zombie.
Yeah, I remember him. He's like a demure type of guy.
Yeah, and the other guy played Littlefinger on Game of Thrones.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah, that dude.
He was good. He was really good.
He was good.
He was a good actor, yeah. And so he was kind of scary actually throughout it. His calm and his, that's what I like. I like that villain that's he's evil back there, but he's not saying much to you.
It gives you like that threat, like, okay, this guy's not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were assassins, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they never said where they were for, who they worked for, except when Tyler Perry showed up. Tyler Perry showed up out of nowhere, and they were like, you got to get this done. So
the basic storyline is that the kid's father either testified or had some sort of
he was an accountant.
Accountant.
And he found what he said was he found something that people were trying to hide, and he
forensic accountant. Yep.
He's a forensic accounnt.
Right.
And and some things that they were trying to hide, and
some bitcoins.
Bitcoin.
Dogecoin.
Yeah. So basically, the father figures out that somebody's coming to kill him, and he takes his son to hide in the Montana mountains with friends of his, but they get cut off before they get there. The father gets assassinated. The kid makes it out, runs into Angelina Jolie, and you're kind of off to the races from that point.
Well, Bernthal's his uncle. It's his so the kid's mom died years ago or something.
Mhm.
And Bernthal's the brother of
interesting
the mom.
twist.
Yeah.
Interesting twist.
Well, that's where he was supposed to
Watch
go,
his
but he
mom
never
die of
gets
cancer.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
So-
interesting.
So
He
the
watched his
interesting
father
part.
get shot up in front of him.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty brutal. It's
Yeah, this
they
kid's gonna
don't
have so much therapy and trauma. He's gonna,
they don't hold back on the assassination parts. They the house, they blow up a house, they shoot the guy in the face. They run the one woman off the road. They just headshot the one woman in her truck.
Yeah, as she pulled up to ask them if they needed any help.
Yeah, they're not leaving any witnesses. Yeah.
Nice.
So-
I like that. That kind of movie.
Yeah.
See, doesn't that teach you kids? Don't be good Samaritans.
In the
Yeah,
business.
yeah, just keep going. No, and the
Just
John
keep
Bernthal.
going.
The John Bernthal character has the kid's supposed to go there, so they go to John Bernthal's house where his pregnant wife is, and that's Medina Senghor,
Okay.
and she becomes a badass. Like you're like, oh no, what are they gonna do? This poor
She
pregnant
runs
woman?
the survival school.
Yeah.
and she freaking kicks ass, and she ends up, like, spoiler, she ends up killing one of the
Assassin.
assassins. And she was great.
By the way, when she called Bernthal on the phone
Mhm.
and she was talking to him, gave him the code word, I had no clue. Like, I don't know how the bad guy dude Aiden figured out that was a code word, because I was like, she was just like, oh, should I cook or whatever?
He knows she's a survivalist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and so the whole action with the forest fire, with the assassins, I think it all worked. Like,
Yeah, well, you knew we had
That's
to
what
have
the
a fire.
trailer has been marketing. That's all I know right now is the trailer. I'm listening to you guys, and I'm waiting for you guys to talk about this forest fire and how epic it was.
But you know we had to have the fire, right? They're all like, because Angelina's a
a
firefighter.
firefighter, right? Yeah.
Because it's in a damn trailer.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of natural disaster movies with a thriller kicked into it, where someone had to chase a robbery suspect, or they were trying to steal this or get killed here. So this is kind of a kickback to those movies, and I think
Who's
it
the
did
director,
it.
by the way? Who directed this? I mean, not right now.
Directed by Taylor Sheridan.
Oh, I'm
So I'm
sure.
looking it up. Taylor Sheridan directed Wind River, Kevin Costner in Yellowstone, Sicario.
Yellowstone.
He's a writer.
The first
writer
Sicario
for.
or the second?
Oh
one?
no, he's a writer for all of these. He's a writer for Sicario,
Oh, wow.
writer for Wind River. So he's got big writing credits.
Yeah,
so
the
he's-
first Sicario is very good, very well written.
Yeah, that was a good one. I haven't seen the second one yet. So
Yes.
bother,
So
don't bother.
his directing is just that Yellowstone series and Wind River.
Mm.
So he's new to the directing front, but he's got some solid writing credits.
It looks like this movie was packaged pretty well from what I'm hearing from you.
I was surprised. I like Keith said, I wasn't expecting very much, and I was like, wow, is this the best movie I've seen this year? Now, what does that say about this
Wow,
year?
that good? Oh, I gotta hear y'all rating.
No, when I say it was very riveting, like I didn't expect it to be as really there was a decent to very good acting in it, and it was a decent enough storyline, and I can't really punch too many holes in this. Like it was
And I think a lot of that comes down to the kid. You felt for the kid every step of the way.
and the kid and the assassins.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Because like those were the two pressure points in the whole along the storyline. But if you think about it, there really wasn't a lot. There really wasn't a whole lot of action.
No.
There wasn't
No,
a
that-
lot of action.
Yeah,
But
the
it was-
bits and
but it
pieces
was
that were in
still
that were
very
well.
riveting.
It was more, yeah. So I would call this not really an action movie, more suspense, like almost a
thriller. It's
Yeah.
generally a thriller, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It was good. It was right up my alley.
Is it thriller? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But the action scenes that are in there, like the assassination
Their
or
quality.
Their quality,
Angelina
like,
Angelina fighting, yeah, it was all
Yep.
good.
it wasn't overdone. It wasn't a huge amount of it. It was quality in the right spots
Look
for
at
the
that.
story.
HBO Max is delivering as he's walking
Yeah.
out the door.
And nobody felt like they were punching above their weight. Like you didn't
Yeah.
feel like somebody was like the kid wasn't a ninja or anything like that.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like anything like that.
Yeah,
Everybody,
so-
what
It wasn't a
everybody
10th
did was
level
well within
taekwondo
what you
artist.
feel like their capability was. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, even Angelina's character felt grounded in the world that they created. So all
Should
right,
we go to grades?
yeah, let's go to
I hear the
grades. Go to grades.
I hear the grades.
Keith, what do you grade Those Who Wish Me Dead?
yeah, I have no problems with him. I'm giving it a solid, like an A-.
Wow.
All right, Mike, how do you grade?
It's going to be a B plus for me. A couple things annoyed me, but they're not things I need to mention here. So
All right.
they're
Yeah,
they're,
me too.
I might have
they're
to
more
watch this
technical
tonight.
details in the movie, but they're not
Right.
solid acting, solid story. You know, overall good execution. So B plus.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go A- too because
Wow.
I wanted more out of Angelina Jolie's character's backstory or whatever, but I liked what they did. I liked the slight twists in the storylines that I expected.
I need
Didn't
to text
expect,
the family. We need to.
and we all watched it. My whole family watched it. There was a lot. I don't know if you care, James. Just so everybody knows, there was a lot of swearing, like a lot of swearing.
The kid,
insert meme right here, Mike.
the kid.
I don't. If you're watching, some people care, but just so you know. But yeah, and I think the kid was the star of the show. I think the kid really pulled it off for me.
Yeah,
He did everything
he's got a
he
bright
needed to.
future.
He's got a good future. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
he's kind of Dakota Fanning-ish.
Yeah, he was pulling that off. Well, overall, great cast, great movie. Everybody, go watch it. Tell us what you think.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this was a long overdue feedback and review of the movie Those Who Wish Me Dead. That the main larger pod had a chance to review, but I unfortunately was not ready at the time to watch the movie and prepare my review. But now I am so ready. And looking back on what the team had said, the group, their comments, their feedback, the acting, the ensemble cast, and the story and the plot and the drama, the tense moments. And then I walked in to watch the same movie. Well, I was kicked in the balls. Nowhere did I have the same sensations or feelings that the larger group had. And I want to start straight to the point. I think this movie, the direction of this movie was not done well. I think the overall plot was a piecemeal plot that tried to connect what seemed to be a thriller in the case of the young boy and his father having some sort of government conspiracy style information that we never actually get to know what that is, versus a redemption story for Angelina Jolie's character. I think those two stories were basically what the plot was trying to get us to kind of really fall into and enjoy. I did not have that same sensation. I felt like it was two separate movies that they tried to marry, and it was a terrible divorce in my head. The other thing that the team had mentioned about this movie was how the some of the secondary characters were well written and had some great moments. Particularly the villains that were shown, the secondary villains, the henchmen, for lack of a better word, played by what's his name for Game of Thrones? Keeps freaking Littlefinger, Game of Thrones, and then the other guy that was with him, a much younger guy from the X-Men series who plays Beast. Again, those two characters to me were more like punching bag parodies. And definitely knowing the actor who plays Littlefinger, and I know his true acting prowess, I felt like every single movement and every single character-driven moment for him in this movie was just terrible. They showed them they were very inept, to the point where I felt like these were probably the worst people that could have been hired to do the simple task of recovering the father and the son and whatever secret government conspiracy information that they had. On top of that, John Berthal's character, who I'm a huge fan of the actor, um, his one moment in this particular movie, I think was probably had the most gravitas when you clearly could tell that, this guy, his wife was pregnant. He was a simple sheriff of a simple town, and he gets caught up in the middle of this whole. Again, this is another plot that they tried to be married into in the other two plots. And unfortunately, tragedy kind of hits him there, and he doesn't quite make it. But every moment and every scene that he was involved in, to me, it felt like I was watching a different movie. Felt like I was watching something that where he actually understood his role, his script, and did the best that he could with that. And I definitely enjoyed his moments in the movie. The other actor that I kind of enjoyed was the boy, and this is where me and the larger Heroes Peak crew we actually agree. I think when Keith was mentioning the fact that how the boy made you feel the pain and what was happening to him in real time, I did see that. I did see the actor was portraying a very hard character and situation and scenarios. And I don't know how old the actor is, but he was very, very believable. And I really felt the pain that he was going through, even in the childish conversations he was having with Angelina Jolie, which I'll get into in a second. I can almost see my 12-year-old son asking the same questions, same conversation about, oh, you're too skinny, and this and the third. And then 15 minutes later, he's trying to survive and save himself. So that part gets a pretty good remark from me, pretty good checkpoint. Angelina Jolie, who was, the star bill of this movie, with the trailers led me to believe that it was a cross between her character and Salt, who had some action background, who was hardened a little bit, with a situation that from her firefighting days, now she's trying to overcome. And they tried that in the beginning of this movie, and I think Chris and maybe Keith had mentioned that, but then fell miserably later on to try to prove to me that she was looking for redemption for a tragedy that was inflicted by her from a fire incident from before. It was felt more like she became the mother figure for the younger boy, and she wanted to protect the younger boy. Not so much that she was fighting the fear of what happened to her prior to the boy coming into her life. And so let's be honest, Angelina Jolie's her in this movie felt like she was just mailing it in, catching a check. I've seen her from like the 90s. I've seen almost every movie of Angelina Jolie. This is probably the worst role that I've ever seen her in, bar none. To me, that was disheartening because that's what really was driving me to watch this movie when I saw her in the trailer. And I got nothing from her in this movie, to the point where I started to really rethink about what the hell was the Heroes Peak squad talking about with this movie. Some terrible cameos we mentioned before with Tyler Perry, terrible, comes in, adds nothing to the story, adds nothing to the plot. His character just seemed to be like, the fat kingpin that wants to make sure that he gets what he gets, which we still don't know by the end of the movie. And again, wasted character, wasted actor. So I'm not going to belabor the point to you guys and girls. I know that the Heroes Peak squad was given this, bees and, they're waving the flag and popcorn and confetti at this movie. Chris himself was saying this is probably the best movie of the year. I don't know if he was intoxicated when he said that. I just know that, I watched this movie entirely sober, and I felt like this movie was a D for doo-doo, as Brooks would say. And I'm really more upset that this movie wasn't better. I don't want to troll it and just, call it out for being a bad movie, but I do think that they had the right idea based on the trailers, but the execution of the movie, and maybe it's the director. I don't know. I never really looked into it beyond just the movie. I think it wasn't done right, not at all. So that's my grade, D for doo-doo. And if you have any comments and feedback, please feel free to leave it here. You know, I read everything. Give me your thoughts. I'm not saying I recommend you watch this movie, but I'm always open to you watching it for yourself. Get your own ideas, get your own thoughts, and see if I hit the mark or if the rest of the squad was right and I was wrong. I'm okay with that too. Alrighty. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. Here's Pete, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, TikTok, Twitter. And as always, rate us as best as you can and always leave a comment. Thanks and have a good night.